Protesters in Los Angeles threw eggs and clashed with ICE agents carrying out immigration raids over the weekend. Donald Trump's response? A National Guard deployment. The president signed a memorandum calling 2,000 National Guardsmen into federal service to protect federal employees and facilities. The deployment is controversial, it's being described as unlawful, and it's the first time a president has deployed the National Guard to a state without the governor's consent since LBJ sent troops to protect civil rights demonstrators from segregationists in Alabama in 1965. So what does federal law say about a president's authority to deploy the National Guard? Here are the answers. The presidential memorandum cites Title 10 U.S. Code Section 12406, which allows the commander-in-chief to call the National Guard of any state into federal service whenever there is a rebellion or danger of rebellion against the government. The memorandum states, to the extent that protests or acts of violence directly inhibit the execution of the laws, they constitute a form of rebellion against the authority of the government of the United States. California Governor Gavin Newsom called the deployment unlawful and formally asked the Pentagon to rescind the order. Newsom pointed out that the law President Trump cited requires the president to give the orders through the state's governors. But in this case, President Trump gave the orders directly to California's Adjutant General. There are other federal laws governing military deployments. The Posse Comitatus Act prohibits the armed forces from being used to execute laws unless it's expressly authorized by the Constitution or an act of Congress. It was enacted in 1878 to prevent the U.S. Marshals from calling on the Army for assistance with enforcing federal law. It's been updated and reaffirmed as recently as 2021. According to the Brennan Center, a posse comitatus is a group of people who are authorized by a sheriff to suppress lawlessness in a county. The Insurrection Act allows the president to call the National Guard whenever unlawful protests or rebellion against the United States make it impractical to enforce the law through the normal means. If you want to know more, head to our website, san.com, where you can read these laws for yourself and make your own decision. I'm Ray Bogan for Straight Arrow News. For more reporting, download the SAN app.